I'm Ryan Cooper, 29, paramedic in Denver. Most nights, I come home with sirens still echoing in my skull, the taste of adrenaline and hospital coffee stuck in my throat. The city feels loud even when it's finally quiet. Our apartment never matches what I just left. I open the door and get hit with lavender, sandalwood, some diffuser humming in the corner. The TV's usually off. Yoga mats rolled up by the wall. My wife, Megan, padding around barefoot talking about alignment, while my brain is still replaying chest compressions and crash scenes. That Sunday, I just finished a run of back-to-back calls. Kid with an asthma attack, drunk driver, an old man who didn't make it. I come home wiped, toss my keys in the bowl, and there she is on the couch, cross-legged in leggings and an oversized sweater, scrolling her phone. I ordered pizza, she says, like she's rescuing me. I knew you wouldn't cook. She's right. I drop onto the couch, my body heavy, my mind buzzing. We eat straight from the box. Netflix menu sitting on pause because neither of us is really watching. She brings it up halfway through a slice. Brianna told me something wild today, she says, licking sauce from her thumb. Her and Josh have been going to these special parties. I smirk. Like adult board game nights or cult meetings? She laughs, too loud for the joke. No, like open-minded parties, couples, freedom. You know, the word hangs there. Freedom. I repeat, chewing slower. Define freedom. She leans back, eyes bright. They go to these houses and there are other couples and everyone just explores. Together. No secrets. No judgment. Everything's out in the open. Total honesty. I feel my jaw tighten. I force myself to relax. So they cheat with a marketing brochure? She swats my arm. It's not cheating if everyone agrees. That's the point. It's actually supposed to make them closer. Bree says it saved their marriage. Saved, right? I nod like I'm considering it because that's what a good communicator does, right? You don't flinch, you don't snap, you don't let your face show that something inside you already doesn't like where this is going. Sounds intense, I say. Are you interested in that kind of thing? She shrugs too casually. I mean, I'm just curious. I love that they can talk about it. No shame, no lying. Just freedom to be who they are. I stare at the grease stain on the lid of the pizza box. We talk, I say. We're honest. Yeah, but this is next level honest. She pushes. No pretending you don't notice other people. You just admit it. You experience it. Together. Together. It's a good word. Comfortable. Familiar. It's also a shield she's holding up between us, and I don't see it clearly yet. But I feel it. I snort, trying to keep it light. Pretty sure my kind of freedom right now is 8 hours of sleep and not seeing anyone bleed for at least a day. She laughs, but her eyes are searching mine, measuring. You're not judging, right? She asks. I just like being able to talk about this stuff. I don't want us to be that couple that pretends. There it is. The accusation baked into the question. I shake my head. I'm not judging. We can talk about whatever you want. And I mean it, or I think I do. We finished the pizza. She talks about energy and how people get stuck when they're repressed. I nod and throw in the right sounds so I don't look insecure or old-fashioned. I shower off the night shift, crawl into bed next to her, and tell myself that being open-minded is part of being a good husband. But later, staring at the ceiling in the dark, sirens faint in the distance. I replay that word in my head. Freedom. I don't know it yet, but that's the night I stopped feeling at home in my own marriage. The crack was small, almost invisible. I laughed at it, and it kept growing. The place looks like every successful couple fantasy you see in real estate ads. Big front yard, soft lights in the windows, a couple of expensive cars parked in the driveway. I kill the engine and just sit there for a second, hands on the wheel. Megan fixes her lipstick in the visor mirror. New shade, new dress. I've never seen either. You okay? She asks, like I'm the one acting differently. Just tired, I say. It's partly true. Remind me of the rules again. She grins like we're about to play some fun game. No judgment, she recites. Let things flow. We check in with each other, respect each other's space. If anything feels off, we pull back together. We're a team. Team. I nod. Got it. Inside, the bass is low and steady, more background heartbeat than music. The house smells like money and something sweet. Perfume, maybe weed, maybe both. Lights are dim. There are clusters of people in corners. Couples laughing too hard. Bodies angled closer than strangers usually stand. Everyone's dressed just a little nicer than casual. Megan's dress fits right in. I feel like a guy who walked into the wrong locker room and is trying not to stare. Someone hands me a drink. Whiskey, neat. I didn't ask for it, but I take it because it gives my hands something to do. Megan's arm is looped through mine at first. She's animated, eyes wide, taking everything in. I can feel her energy, bright and forward, like the night has been waiting just for her. A guy breaks from a small group and heads our way. Tall, dark hair, gym body, perfect teeth. The kind of man who's never had to worry about being invisible in a room. "I'm Derek," he says, offering his hand to me first. "Good move. You must be Ryan. Brianna told us you two might come." His grip is firm. Mine is automatic. "Yeah, first time." He turns to Megan, and his whole expression softens a notch. "You must be Megan." She laughs, that little high laugh I know. "Wow. I didn't know we were like expected." "You were," he says. "Everyone's been curious about you too." He says you too, but his eyes barely leave her face. I stand there, sip my drink, and watch the calls I've seen before, but never pointed anywhere but me. Her hand brushes his forearm when she laughs. She tilts her head when he talks. She bites her lower lip when she's interested. It's muscle memory for her. It just doesn't belong to me tonight. I tell myself it's fine. It's the vibe. This is what we signed up for, right? Open. Honest. No pretending we don't notice other people. But there's a difference between noticing and orbiting. Conversations shift. People move. Somehow I end up on the edge of the living room, alone for the first time, my back to a wall I don't trust, watching Megan and Derek talk like they're catching up. Not just met. Brianna floats by, winked with mascara and fake ease. "Are you doing okay, Ryan?" "Peachy," I say. She squeezes my arm. "It gets easier. Just remember, everyone here is choosing this. Everyone here." When I look back, Megan and Derek are already drifting toward the hallway. She glances over her shoulder, catches my eye, and gives me this casual little wave. Not a "come here," not a "wait for me," just a friendly "see you later" flick of her hand. Like I'm a coworker holding her bag while she runs to the bathroom. They disappear around the corner. My first instinct is to move, step in, shut it down, call it what it is. Instead, I stay exactly where I am. My heart's pounding, but my face doesn't move. Years of keeping it together on scenes kicks in. You don't scream. You don't panic. You observe. The bass thumps. People laugh. Someone offers me another drink. I stare at that empty hallway and make a choice I don't fully understand yet. I'm not going to blow up. Not here. Not tonight. I'm going to watch. And I'm going to remember. I remember the carpet first. Clean, soft, expensive. It muffles everything but my pulse. The hallway is half dark. Doors cracked just enough to hint at whatever's going on inside. There's a low, constant murmur of voices. A laugh here. A sigh there. I've heard enough sounds in the back of an ambulance to know what I'm hearing without needing a visual. Halfway down, I see it. A door mostly closed, just a sliver of light spilling out. Megan's dress had disappeared behind that frame. Derek's hand on the small of her back. I stop a few feet away. I can hear them, but not clearly, muffled words, then softer noises that don't belong to friendship or conversation. My throat goes dry. There's this split second where my brain tries to bargain. Maybe it's harmless, maybe it's just talking, maybe. Then I catch her laugh. Short, breathless. I know that version. I know exactly what it means. Something in me hardens. I could knock, walk in, drag her out by the wrist and cause a scene that would give everyone a story to tell for months. Instead, I slide my phone out of my pocket. My hands look calm. That still surprises me when I remember it. I flip the camera on, angle it toward the door, hit record. I find a little shelf across the hall. Some decorative bullshit with candles and a plant. And prop my phone there, screen barely visible in the dim. All I want captured is simple. Megan Cooper and Derek Shaw disappearing into a room together. The door, the voices, the obvious. It's enough. I stand there for another beat, just listening. The sounds get clearer, more unmistakable. My stomach turns, but my face might as well be carved from stone. Then I do the most out-of-character thing for a paramedic. I walk away before it's over. On scene, you stay. You fight. You don't leave until someone else calls time. But this isn't my save to make. I move back through the living room like I'm just another guest heading out early. Couple nods at me. Someone says, "You good, man?" "Yeah," I answered. Long shift. Outside, the air hits colder than it should. I get in the car, shut the door, and just sit there for a second with my hands on the wheel. No yelling, no punching the dash. Just white-knuckled grip and a buzzing emptiness. The drive home is muscle memory. Turns I don't remember taking. Lights I don't remember catching. Denver blurs past in streaks of yellow and red. I don't turn on the radio. Sirens echo in my head anyway. Back at the apartment, everything looks exactly the same as when we left. Diffuser still going. Blankets still folded. The kind of normal that suddenly feels staged. I shower. I don't remember turning the water on or off. I lie down on the bed on my side, facing away from her pillow, in the dark. Hours drag. Around 2 in the morning, the door clicks. Soft footsteps. A pause. The faint smell of perfume and a cologne that isn't mine touches the air. The mattress dips as she eases in. She thinks I'm asleep. She lies there for a long moment, then exhales like she just finished a great workout. That's when it happens. Not a shout. Not a breakdown. Just a quiet internal snap, like a bone finally giving way after being bent too far. I keep my breathing slow and even. I don't move. I don't ask. I already have everything I need. I woke up before Megan. I don't think I actually slept, but my body knows the routine: shower, clothes, coffee. This morning, I did it differently. I grind the good beans she likes. Steam the milk. Sprinkle cinnamon on top the way she always says is such a small thing, but it makes me feel loved. I set the table like we're in some ad for a happy couple. 2 mugs, plates, a little bowl of fruit I don't even want. In the middle of the table, face down, is my tablet. I queued up the video from my phone, transferred over while the shower ran. 30 seconds of hallway. Her dress. Derek. The door. The sounds are just clear enough that you don't need imagination. I hit pause and leave the screen black. Megan shuffles out in a t-shirt and shorts, hair messy, fake sleepy voice on. "Wow," she says, seeing the setup. "What's all this?" "Thought we could have a nice breakfast," I say. My voice sounds calm, almost detached. "Sit. I made your coffee how you like it." She smiles, soft and warm, and for a second I see the girl I married instead of the woman who slipped down that hallway. She takes a sip, closes her eyes. "You're sweet," she says. "I know last night was a lot." "Yeah," I say. "It was." I pick up the tablet, flip the cover back, and hit play. I set it between us, angled so she can't avoid it. Her face changes in stages. First confusion, brows knitting as she realizes what she's looking at. The house, the hallway, her own back in that dress. Then recognition, then fear. The audio kicks in, muffled voices, the door, her laugh. She reaches out like she's gonna grab it, but I rest my hand on the edge first. "Don't," I say quietly. "Just watch." "Ryan, what is this?" Her voice is tight. "Why are you recording me?" This is creepy. This is you?" I cut in, keeping my eyes on her, not the screen. Walking into a room with another man. Closing the door. "At a party you told me was about us." She swallows. "This is what we came for," she snaps. "You knew what kind of party it was. We talked about this. You can't act shocked now because you're insecure." I let that sit for a second. "I agreed to go with you," I say. I agreed to us being together. I did not agree to standing alone in some stranger's living room while my wife disappeared down a hallway with a guy she just met. She opens her mouth, shuts it, looks back at the frozen frame on the screen. It's not cheating if you consented. She tries again, weaker this time. I nod once. Exactly. And what you're seeing right there, that's you acting like I don't exist. That's not consent. That's not freedom. That's betrayal dressed up in incense and buzzwords. She reaches for the tablet again. This time I let her take it. I've already seen everything I need. She's still talking when I cut her off with a simple sentence. It wasn't just last night, I say. And you know it. Her mouth snaps shut. She stares at me, eyes searching for how much I actually know. I lean back in my chair, fingers laced together, the way I do when I'm delivering bad news to a family. Calm, professional, detached. You started guarding your phone a while ago, I say. Face down, always with you. Bathroom, showers, yoga studio, everywhere. You'd go stiff if I picked it up to check the time. That's my privacy, she says quickly. Everyone deserves. I thought so too. I cut in. Until one night I saw a notification from a name I didn't recognize. Then another. Then a preview of a message that didn't read like yoga scheduling. Her face flushes. You went through my phone? Not at first, I say. I did what you always told me to do. I trusted you. I told myself I was being paranoid. But it kept happening. You'd light up at texts while I was heading out for night shifts. You'd suddenly pick up a class or meet a friend on Thursdays when you knew I'd be in the ambulance till dawn. I let the silence stretch. Then a buddy at work, you remember Luis, the one who's good with tech, mentions he can pull old backups off a phone if you know the account details. I hold her gaze. I knew your details. She goes pale. Ryan, I didn't need your passcode. I go on. I just needed time. I did it in the station between calls. Plugged in, loaded up a backup you didn't know existed, and there it was. I tick it off on my fingers. Group chats with Brianna and a few others. You call them workshops. Addresses to houses, hotels. Girls' nights that somehow required Ubers to the same 2 locations. Selfies in bathrooms I've never been in. You in outfits I've never seen you leave this apartment in. Stop, she whispers. I read 6 months of Thursdays, Meg. Thursdays and Saturdays and networking events. You laugh in texts about how easy I am to schedule around. Brianna saying, must be nice having a husband who works nights, built-in cover. You're replying with a crying laugh emoji. She flinches like I hit her. That's not fair, she snaps. You had no right to invade my privacy like that. That's abusive, Ryan. I actually laugh. Short, humorless. Abusive is you using our joint account to pay for Ubers to go hook up with strangers. I say. Abusive is you burning our marriage to the ground and then telling me it's called growth. Her eyes fill, but I'm past the point where that moves me. I've seen everything, I say, voice flat. The messages, the receipts, the hotel bills, the jokes. You weren't experimenting last night. You were just finally doing it close enough for me to catch you. She opens her mouth, probably to spin a new angle, but I shake my head. Don't bother trying to convince me this started with Brianna's idea. I say. I know how long this has been going on. I hacked the phone weeks ago. I walked into that party already knowing what you were capable of. She stares at me like she doesn't recognize me. So what? She says, grasping at anything. That's it? You're just done? Over some texts you weren't even supposed to see. I meet her eyes, and for the first time since I married her, I feel nothing but distance. I'm not over some texts, I say quietly. I'm over being the last one in this marriage to know what's actually going on. And in that moment, I realize I'm not trying to save this anymore. I'm building my exit. I talk to a lawyer, I say. We're still at the table, cold coffee between us. Her shoulders jerk like I slapped her. You what? She stammers. Last week, I clarify. I showed him the messages, the backups, the receipts. I sent him the video this morning. Copies are with the firm. So when you're done being offended, I checked your phone. Understand something. This doesn't go away just because you start crying. The tears stop halfway out. She stares at me, breathing hard. You're really divorcing me, she says. Over this. I'm divorcing you over months of this. I correct. This party just gave me better lighting. That afternoon, I packed a duffel. Basics only: uniforms, jeans, t-shirts. I toss my medic gear bag in the trunk out of habit. The rest can sit until lawyers tell me who gets what. A coworker, Mark, has a spare room. He doesn't ask many questions. Stay as long as you need, he says, tossing me a key. I block Megan on my phone. Email only, and even that won't last. From now on, I tell her in one last message. We speak through attorneys. Then there's Derek Shaw, Brianna's golden boy. The man who walked my wife down a hallway like he was doing her a favor. I don't go after him in person. I don't threaten. I don't show up at his job. I just sit on Mark's lumpy couch one night after shift and build a clean folder on my laptop. Screenshots of chats where his name comes up, photos from the party I can find online, timestamps, addresses, hotel confirmations that line up with his networking nights. At the top of the document, I type one name, Catherine Shaw. Brianna mentioned her once. She's a lawyer, total shark, but he says she's too busy with the kids to care what he does. Care. I print what matters, black out anything that points back to me, slide it into a plain envelope, and mail it to her firm's address. No note, no threats, just the truth. Fallout doesn't happen instantly, but it happens. I hear about it in pieces. Brianna yelling at Megan over the phone, Derek taking time away from work, rumors that Catherine kicked him out and froze joint accounts. At Megan's yoga studio, whispers start. A couple clients unfollow her, then more. The owner pulls her aside for a talk. And a week later, she's taking a break to focus on herself. I don't celebrate. I don't post. I don't gloat. I just let the wreckage land where it belongs. The courtroom is smaller than TV makes it look. Fluorescent lights, scuffed wood, a handful of people waiting for their own endings. I sit next to my lawyer, Collins. Middle-aged, calm, the kind of guy who's seen too many versions of this to be impressed by any of them. He's got a neat stack of binders in front of him. One of them has my name on the spine. Megan walks in with her attorney. She's dressed like the good wife. Neutral dress, light makeup, hair pulled back. If you didn't know better, you'd think she was here to fight for us, not for her share. She doesn't look at me. Her attorney starts with the story I knew was coming. This was an open relationship that went sideways. My client acted with the understanding that there was consent. Mr. Cooper participated, then had an emotional reaction and is now trying to punish her for his discomfort. It's almost impressive, the spin. The judge listens, expression flat. Then Collins opens the binder. He doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't moralize. He just walks through the facts. Timestamps of my night shifts. Party invitations sent to Megan's email and hidden from our shared calendar. Hotel charges billed to our joint account on nights when she claimed extra classes. Screenshots of group chats where Megan and Brianna joke about how easy it is to schedule around my work. He reads one line out loud, sanitized but sharp. Ryan will never know. He's always out saving everyone else. Megan shifts in her chair. Collins doesn't stop there. He lays out the pattern. Not one party, not one mistake, but half a year of planning, lying, and using shared money to finance it. The judge's expression changes by degrees, neutral, then irritated, then tired in a way that says he's seen this before. When it's Megan's turn to speak, her voice shakes as she talks about growth and freedom, and how I agreed at first. But the more she talks, the smaller it sounds next to the paper trail. In the end, the ruling is short and clean. Assets lean my way. The judge calls out misuse of marital funds on her part. No alimony. No heroic exit for her to brag about later. Just consequences. Months later, I'm at the small rental house I'm staying in when she shows up. No warning. Just a knock on the door at dusk. I open it, step out, and close it behind me so she can't see inside. She's crying before she says my name. Ryan, please, can we just talk? Without lawyers. We were good once. We can fix this. I let her get it out. Then I shake my head. You didn't want to fix it, I say. You wanted freedom without fallout. You confused betrayal with enlightenment and expected me to clap for it. She flinches. I'm not angry anymore, I add, but I'm done. Whatever we had, whatever I thought we had, is gone. Her shoulders slump like I took something from her. Truth is, she lost it herself. I tell her to take care of herself. Then I turn, walk back inside, and close the door. This time, it stays closed. The first thing I notice, once it's really over, is the quiet. No diffuser humming. No yoga playlists. No half-arguments about energy. Just the fridge, the pipes, the city outside the window, and my own breathing. I moved into a small place closer to the station. 1 bedroom, cheap furniture, bad parking. It's mine. The mornings come early. On days off, I start running before sunrise. Nothing impressive. Just loops around the neighborhood until my legs burn and my head stops replaying court dates and hallways. I don't call it healing. I call it not sitting still. I started cooking for real. Not frozen pizza, not takeout. Actual meals. It feels stupid at first, a grown man Googling how to roast chicken. But there's something grounding about eating food I made in a place no one ever lied to me in. I read more. Not relationship books. Not how to forgive garbage. Crime novels. Memoirs from other first responders. People who've seen worse than I have and kept going. The support group comes later. One of the hospital social workers corners me after a particularly bad call and mentions it. Divorce group, Tuesday nights, nothing touchy-feely, just people who've been through it. I show up half to prove it's pointless. That's where I met Jenna. She's there as a volunteer therapist, not a participant. Early 30s, calm eyes, no performance in her voice. She doesn't hover. She just listens while guys talk about betrayal, money, kids, empty houses. After a few weeks, I stay behind to help stack chairs. She lingers. You don't talk much, she says. I talk all night in the ambulance, I answer. Feels good to shut up once in a while. She smiles at that. Fair. But you do listen. That counts. We end up grabbing coffee across the street one night. Then again the week after. Then it walks. Then it's sitting on a bench while I tell her about the party, the hallway, the envelope to Derek's wife. She doesn't flinch. She doesn't tell me who to forgive or how fast. With her, there are no rules. No trendy words for basic respect. Just clear questions, honest answers, and quiet between us that doesn't feel like something's about to explode. I'm not rushing. I'm not trying to replace Megan. I'm just learning that love, if it ever shows up again, doesn't have to come packaged with chaos. Jenna and I got married the opposite way I married Megan. No big guest list. No rented barn with string lights. Just a small room at the courthouse, a simple dress, a clean shirt, 2 friends as witnesses, and vows that sounded like real people talking, not Pinterest. We move into a new apartment on the edge of the city. Nothing fancy, but it's ours. No ghosts in the walls. 3 years after the party, Jenna's pregnant with our first kid. I'm still running calls, still seeing too much blood on night shifts. But when I come home now, there's no incense, no performance. Just her, oversized t-shirt, sleepy smile, asking, "Rough night?" and meaning it. One evening, we're on the balcony. Her hand rests on her stomach. The city hums below us. For once, my head is quiet. My phone buzzes. Unknown number. I check it out of habit. Congratulations. I heard you got remarried. I really do hope you're happy. Megan. For a second, I just look at the words. No spike of rage. No shaking hands. Just a faint, distant ache. Like an old bruise I'd forgotten about. Jenna notices my face. You okay? She asks. I show her the screen. She glances at it, shrugs. You good? She repeats. No jealousy. No drama. Just a check-in. Yeah, I say, and I realize I mean it. I type back 2 words. Thank you. Nothing else. No history, no lecture, no opening. Then I block the number again. Not because I'm angry, but because that chapter is finished, printed, and shelved. I slip the phone into my pocket and look out over the city. The same streets I drove hollow 3 years ago, now just lights and traffic and people going home. Jenna squeezes my hand. You sure you're okay? She asks again. I turn to her, take in the life we've built, the kid on the way, the peace I didn't think I'd ever get back. Yeah, I say, this time from the deepest place in my chest. I'm good. For real. And for the first time since the night she called it freedom, every part of me believes it.